Hello and welcome to episode 362 of the Daily Sales Message podcast, where every single day I share a piece of simple and actionable advice that's designed to help you feel more confident and sell more stuff too. In today's episode, the title is Chimps with iPhones. Chimps with iPhones. And this is to bring your attention to the fact that your buyers, as much as we're people and we like to be very sophisticated and wear clothes and stick to schedules and be polite and use certain language, etc., we're just animals at the end of the day. We're highly evolved animals, highly evolved chimps with iPhones. And if you want any proof of this, look at your own iPhone or Android. Look at your Amazon order history and look at the things you've been buying, or TikTok shops, even worse, but if you're buying from there, and look at what you've been buying and then why. A great deal of those things are going to be impulsive buys, or they're going to be emotionally based buys because you want to feel a certain way rather than rational or logical. We've run out of toilet paper, we need to buy some toilet paper. It's more likely to be here's a whizzy gadget or here's a beauty thing or whatever. I'm very confident you've got a lot more of the emotionally impulsively bought things in your order history than the logical, I was going to say factual, it doesn't make sense, the logical purchases like toilet roll, etc., things you've run out of. And that's because we're chimps with iPhones. We are governed by our feelings, emotions, and impulses a lot more than we'd like to let on. Our feelings, impulses, things like that, they govern what we do. We just rationalize that retrospectively with logic. So after the event, we make a case for, well, I had to buy that thing because blah, blah, blah. And that's what we do. So your buyers are very much the same. You have to respect that and think about that and understand that when you're selling to your buyer, they're not buying the thing you're selling. They're often buying a feeling or an emotion or a particular situation they're trying to get to. It's not going to be rational or logical most of the time. It's going to be something that's emotional and impulsive and a bit more ephemeral. And if we can understand what that is, focus on it, and then communicate that to our buyer, we're going to magically connect with them when we talk in that way, versus the way which most businesses sell, which is welcome to McDonald's, can I take your order, what would you like to buy, which isn't really an effective strategy. So remember, you're a chimp with an iPhone or an Android, so are your buyers. Act accordingly. Think about the emotions, the impulses, the much more softer, touchy-feely stuff that's at play in what they're looking to buy from you. Focus on selling destination, not the journey. Right, that's it for this episode of the podcast. Tomorrow in episode 363, we're talking about the granularity problem. The granularity problem. Nearly every business that I've met, every person that I've met on my adventures teaching me how to sell for the last 6 or 7 years has suffered to a lesser or greater degree with the granularity problem. I'll explain more about that in tomorrow's episode. In the meantime, if you haven't already, please hop on over to LinkedIn and connect with me there. You'll find me, James Newell, Clear Sales Message. Shoot me a DM. Let me know what you like about the podcast, or if you'd like me to cover something in a future episode. It's always great to hear from listeners from literally around the world. Goes to a lot of places, this podcast. Lots of places I've never even been, which is a bit weird for me. People in countries I've never been to, may never go to, are listening to my fast-talking, slightly weird podcast. That's interesting, isn't it? Right, I'll catch you tomorrow for another exciting edition of the Daily Sales Message.